Okay guys, some of my thoughts regarding Cosmic Skeptic's recent video on veganism and animal rights. Now, what was really funny was that a few weeks ago, he makes a response video to Sabur Ahmed when Sabur made a video regarding human rights. Now, obviously Sabur made the point, generally speaking, that on atheism or naturalism, you cannot make a claim for human rights because at the end of the day, it's just matter in motion, molecules in motion. There is no such thing as objective morality or objective value, if you like, from that perspective. There is no difference between a sentient human being like me and a table or a chair because it's all matter in motion. Now, in his response, Cosmic Skeptic acknowledges this. It's interesting. He's honest. He acknowledges this. There is no such thing as objective morality that's out there. Yet he says we should live like there is. Meaning you should delude yourself into believing that there is. Why? Because according to him, it works. Why? Because he takes this the Sam Harris approach to morality, which is that if it results in pleasure, if it results in happiness, if it results in making you feel good, then it's good, etc. And you can go and watch the rest of the intellectual gymnastics that take place in that video, but I'll leave that for later. The point being, he acknowledges there is no such thing as objective. If you go down to the bare bones, there is no such thing as objective morality or value. Then a man who could not justify or account for or respond to the claim that on atheism or naturalism you cannot even account for human value, now talks about the value of animals. You know, it's fascinating. And what's interesting is that he cannot help but do this. And I can appreciate this. I can appreciate it because it's an intrinsic, as human beings we have an intrinsic drive. There are certain elements of truth, there are certain elements of right and wrong which God has instilled within us, within our very nature, which we cannot help but express even if we claim to be atheists, even if we claim to be naturalists. And that's exactly what he is doing in that video. He cannot help but stand up for the rights of animals. He knows the treatment, and I agree with him. I agree that as a Muslim, I can make the claim. And I 100% agree with a lot of what he said, which is that animals under this capitalistic, consumerist society, this system, is the way that animals are being treated is disgusting, it's wrong, it's appalling, it's immoral. But as a Muslim, I can make that claim because I have an anchor to ground my objective morality, my values in. Whereas on atheism or naturalism, you don't have it. You have to fudge some other type of philosophy to try and justify your innate natural expression, which is coming from your nature, which again, you cannot account for on atheism or naturalism. But from the Islamic perspective, it makes sense because God tells us that He created us upon the fitrah, this pure nature. And an aspect of the nature is somewhat, we have a somewhat of an understanding of right and wrong, which is already embedded within us. And obviously then through revelation and through what God has revealed, we learn the rest. But going back to the point, I guess I want to conclude on this particular point, if you like, which is, if you're an atheist, if you're a naturalist, if you're watching this video right now, I want you to think about something. You know that you too deep down have this innate drive to call something, if you see wrong, you say it's wrong. If you see something bad, you say it's bad. When you see the poor treatment of animals, you scream out and you speak out and you stand up against it. But on atheism or naturalism, you cannot account for this natural expression that comes from within you. And if that's the case, then that should really get you to consider and think about this worldview that you're holding on to. If it's not in line with your nature and what you feel deep down inside and what you know is wrong, and it doesn't allow you to account for that, unless you're obviously doing some sort of intellectual gymnastics, which he does in his video. But if it doesn't, then it means that you have to really question that worldview and think about, is it even correct? Is it even right? Should I even hold on to it? A worldview which renders me to nothing more than a combination of atoms and molecules, full stop. A worldview which puts me in the position where I cannot even make a moral claim. I cannot even make a moral claim because my worldview cuts me off from that. Look at the way this worldview of atheism and naturalism degrades the human being and drives the human being down to a point where he's literally a lamppost, right? Literally. Yeah? So if you want, look, I'll conclude on this. If you want to have your cake and you want to eat it, go ahead. Keep living that way. But if you realize the contradiction, then really think about this position and really consider Islam. Now, I leave you guys with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. Until next time, take care.